Welcome back to Musica Universalis, this special fundraiser one-shot in collaboration between Worlds Elsewhere Theatre Company and Fantasy Worlds Elsewhere. We are simulcasting on Twitch and on YouTube. We are very happy that so far we have raised $1,210 for Worlds Elsewhere and their 2023 schedule. As I have mentioned before, every donation will go towards making sure that we can present the best program of shows, the best schedule of shows for you over the coming year. And I'm excited. Like, I know Coriolanus is coming up next very soon, but I'm also a big fan of the sort of cabarets we do. Like those are always fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes about. However, we still have a little ways to go in this story before we can tell any more. So if you are all ready and sitting comfortably, let us begin. Act 3, The Island. The darkness fades. The sound of the sea returns, no longer muffled in your ears. You can breathe air, fills your lungs like daggers. You wake, however, you may wish otherwise. You are on an island, though this one is not the oppressive rock upon which you first found yourselves. It is larger, greener. It feels wilder than any land you might expect on this common earth. It's like the earth itself is infused with a nervous energy, a fey and freakish landscape. Strangely enough, Titania, you feel, after the confusion and stress and strain of the last land, you feel more grounded here now. And that confusion which plagued you has slipped away, at least for now. You see beyond the beach, meadows overgrown with tall grasses where strange beasts graze, seemingly unfazed by your arrival. You look around, there's no shipwreck. Wherever the Hispaniola, wherever Edmund, wherever Sir Thomas Tom have gone, it's not here. All that stretches beyond here for you are tall hills and dense woodland. And nestled among all of that, you can see, just off in the distance, a large chateau. What would you like to do?
Do I recognize this chateau? Like, is this a place that in the Feywilds that I've been before?
Not a place that you have been to before, necessarily, but perhaps members of your court have been here before. Some perhaps by choice, others not so.
When you say chateau, are we talking like French farmhouse? Are we talking castle?
It is a very grand estate.
Okay.
Certainly, whoever lives there must be a person of means.
Very good.
I think that since Titania has at this point finally stopped like giggling slightly crazily, she's gonna like go like are there trees nearby that she can go and like basically get back in touch with herself a little bit?
Yeah, you can approach one of the trees. They grow at strange angles here, and not so much like windswept, almost as if they are facsimiles of trees. something pretending to be a tree. And when you touch it, it feels warm. It feels welcoming, a little bit too welcoming, actually. The bark kind of starts to grow over your fingers, and you have to sort of gently pry yourself free as the tree tries to hug you for once.
All right, I know that I've been gone a little while, but or maybe not a while, but you don't need to get so. And to the rest of the party, she is straight up just conversing with this tree.
Yeah, the rest of you, Titania is talking to a
Raised
tree.
by talking to trees.
Je ne comprends pas.
Alice usually expects them to talk back.
Honor.
Yes.
Can I use like it's kind of sort of invoking my aspect? I don't know if I want to well, I guess I could use a fate point for this if I really have to. Can I invoke Ilmet by Moonlight to see if I can, I have a lot of command over nature in particular, see if I can command this tree to like tell me where I am, who's here, what's all that stuff?
If you would like, you can spend a fate point to invoke that aspect and gain a measure of information. Yes.
Alrighty, I'm spending a fate point.
Okay. You spend you lean into your Fey majesty and reach out to communicate with the tree itself to gain some idea of where you are. You are close to the Fey here, close to the circle, but you are still separated from your court. What you are told, at least as best you can tell, is that you are on the island of the wizard, the rightful Duchess of Milan. There has been great adventure here, you sense. And soon, the adventure will come to a close. It's curious. You can see that the magic of this island is spiraling towards the chateau, but it is starting to slow considerably. All except for a black spot which doesn't match the rest of the pattern. But it feels it doesn't feel right. It doesn't match the energy that the rest of the island has created here, that this wizard has created. You get the sense that the island has no true name. That is by design. And the spirits here are excitedly awaiting the departure of the wizard. For once she is gone, then they will be truly free.
Do they tell me the name of the wizard? Ellie has an idea of who she thinks the wizard is.
Then you are told the name of the wizard in a hidden tongue. The Duchess of Milan, Mother of Miranda. betrayed, usurped, but soon to sit upon her rightful place once more.
Okay. What does everyone else do? I want a moment to think about what I'm going to do. What is everyone else doing while I'm talking to this tree?
Alice kind of wants to hear the other end of the conversation. Alice is probably sitting next to you, like standing next to you, leaning in, trying to hear the tree.
Should we talk? Should we interrupt this?
I'm not sure what the conversation is.
I think that that Morgan would be. She'd probably be kind of like heading towards the chateau with the intentions of, she is a noble woman. Clearly, there is a noble living here. Perhaps she can, ask for their assistance for her and her friends, a place to stay, etc., etc.
Okay. So Alice, you are sitting by the tree waiting for Titania to finish her conversation. Christine, a little bit concerned beside her. Morgan, you begin the walk. You find a path which winds up the slope towards the chateau itself. And Jean, are you going to join Morgan, or are you going to stay on the beach for now? Is there anything else you wish to do?
Well, Jean is still sort of processing the conversation with Edmond, certainly. But once he sees that Morgan is breaking off to do whatever it is Morgan's going to do, he sort of hedges his bets and says, Alice, follow me. It's best it's best we don't allow her to wander off.
At this point, I think Titania would come out of it and see Morgan walking towards the chateau. Oh God, can you ever wait for me to do something?
You were talking to a
Perhaps
tree, you're right. I was going to try and secure us, some help on account of guest rights and all.
It's gonna
What on
look
earth
at the
are
tree and be
guest
like,
rights?
"Thank you for your assistance, I think." The tree.
The tree
Yeah.
rattles a little bit, but it's not too. You're not quite sure if it's the breeze or the tree itself that's doing it. Could be both.
She's gonna curtsy and then run off after Morgan and
Yeah, I feel like Titania at her height would catch up with Morgan pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And is at this point, he's gonna step in front of him and go, "Look, I know that you, all four of you, have ideas about how human society is supposed to run because of when you're from. But let me inform you, those ideas are not fixed. We could come across a human whose idea of guest rights is, oh, there's an intruder in my house. How about I fill them with spears?
I'd
So
like
I'd
to
like
see
to
them
know-
try.
I would rather
terribly
not like to
rude.
see them try. I have been filled with spears. At least I think I have. And it's unpleasant.
Christine, are you okay?
There is danger no matter where we go, and I am still unsettled by this task we have received. I don't know how to explain it. But I suppose we should at least seek some form of shelter.
And I agree to your trepidations, or at least what I understand your trepidations to be. Hopefully we can think of a way through it. We get to wake up from whatever dream this is.
So you move forward together, and soon reach the home. This large estate, very quiet now. There are no servants that you can see. There is almost no appearance that there would be anyone actually here until you reach the courtyard. And you do see someone sitting in the afternoon sun, sort of leafing through some old tomes, a broken staff by her side. At this time, I would like to welcome Laura Crone to our game. Laura, would you like to describe to this group of visitors, unexpected visitors, not the first group, perhaps, but you certainly weren't expecting them now. Would you mind describing what they see as they approach you?
Certainly. They see a woman clearly past the bloom of her youth and carrying the wisdom which comes from that, the wisdom and experience of being past that bloom. Starting to sag a bit, both physically and emotionally, with an air of sadness hanging about her, and an air of questioning.
Morgan will see this woman and approach, standing straight, standing tall, and will approach, give again a short curtsy, and say, "Greetings and well met, lady. I am Morgan the Fae, and these are my friends here. We are bound on a ship, and unfortunately, we hit rough weather on an even rougher Leviathan. We washed ashore, and so I would beg upon the right of hospitium until we can get her bearings and figure out where to go."
Certainly, friends, you're welcome here. You're not the first to have washed up on this shore, and it is a relief to be met with such polite company.
Could you tell me, what is your name?
My name is Prospera, Duchess of Milan.
Wonderful to meet you. You'll find a couple of queens in your company here.
So much royalty today.
Given the circumstances, I do not know how much we need to stand on ceremony. We are, you could say, on a quest, I suppose. We are looking for someone.
Ah, who is it you seek?
They called him a thief.
A thief.
We've been given no name, not even really a description.
Thief of stories, I think?
Mysterious. I cannot speak to having seen any sort of thief of stories in these parts. I wish that I could help you. You see, I am possessed of certain magical arts. I have resolved to give them up as I return to a place better suited to me, but unfortunately, at present, I am unable to access what is left of the magic that I have.
You have. You don't have access to your magic, but if I could beg of you, perhaps a scrying dish.
A scrying dish?
If we're to find this thief, I need to see if I can find them. And a dish of water, nice and shallow, or perhaps a crystal ball, something I can gaze into and see if I can get a bead on this thief, what they look like, where they might be.
Certainly. I fear that my most proper element for such work is locked away in the library, which I'm currently unable to reach because of these strange events that have unfolded on this island. But I'm sure I could find you some sort of bowl.
What's preventing you from getting to the library?
Oh, there is this presence that has appeared of late. It keeps its quarters in a strange house and has been causing all manner of hullabaloo about this island. Blocking, feasting upon the baser creatures here, who are simply trying, I understand, to go about their lives and causing a true disruption to those of us who keep more civilized life as well.
Perhaps I could see if I mean, our journey began in a library of sorts. Perhaps I could see if I could deal with this creature for you.
That would be, you would have my thanks, and I would be thrilled to help you if there is anything I can do to help you find this thief, as soon as I have access to my books.
Well, I suppose we have faced down stranger things at this point. It might as well happen again.
I'm just including Stranger Things in this story too.
Not for another 95 years, but
God damn
sorry.
it.
Please lead us to this library.
I cannot.
It
I'll
surely has a
find it.
physical. Surely has a physical location.
What on earth makes you assume that?
I suppose. Stranger things have happened today again.
Ah,
Stop it.
I don't even watch that show. I just can't help it. Could you? Gosh, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this question in a way to invoke. Where is it? Where's my character sheet? A dream past the wit of man, basically to try to force a vision on myself that it might drive me a little crazier, but that will tell me how to get to the library from here. Can you give me? Here, it's not like a physical location, but could you give me instructions on how to reach it? I'm sure I could figure it out.
Ever since this creature has taken up residence on my island, it is as if I have forgotten everything about my library. I know that it is, but when I try to access it, when I try to think of how to go there, all that I feel is a strange pull to walk into the woods towards this creature's home.
Well then, perhaps we should go to the woods.
I warn you, it is a vile creature.
So am I.
Have you seen the creature?
Only the damage it has done, only its chaos, only the stories from the residents of this island, whose accounts I might not normally trust so well. They tell me their friends are drawn into the woods, and once they are, they do not return.
I don't wish to sound more arrogant than I often do, but unless there's something deeply wrong with your island, the woods on my domain more than any creature in this universe, I can go into the woods and find it.
Certainly.
I was just going to ask Alice if she still has her sword or if it was lost when the whale destroyed the ship.
I do still have it.
I believe we still have it. And still in Belgium.
Yeah, Jean still does possess the sword.
Certainly, if you are armed, that does make a difference.
Mhm.
In my confidence, at least. And I cannot speak to this strange domain of the woods. But if you believe that you possess a stronger sense of this magic than I do, then, well, I suppose we'll just have to see.
Lead the way,
You know,
Titania.
may
I
I
don't know her name.
ask one thing before we leave?
I can't spell.
If you know, you don't know how to get to the library, do you know what it looks like if you were in there? Do you remember it at all?
I feel walls of stone and a smell of parchment and a sense that everything that has ever mattered to anyone who matters is there.
Rather a lot to keep in one place. Are there any other buildings on this island that Alice would have noticed?
From your perspective, when you first arrived here, you could just see the chateau. Make a notice check.
Got it. How does a good feel?
Yeah, it feels good. From where you're positioned now, you can see if you were to step out from this courtyard and back to the gates of the estate, you would be able to see down the hill. You would see some sort of shacks, servant quarters. You would notice perhaps off in the distance a small jetty with a shack beside it for anyone who might need to sit and watch the sea. Although it is in a great state of disrepair. And you do see that there are a number of paths that lead to, you would have to imagine they branch off to different locations on the island. That there may be other buildings visible, maybe other buildings located there. With a good check, I will say that you do notice one path winding in a northerly direction from where you are. However, the path does seem to get swamped by woodland and scrub at a certain point. It's like there's like a clear delineated spot. You can see it in the woods beyond. At one point, they just seem to get quite dark.
Well, Titania,
Oh.
this was your idea. Do you know where we go?
I think Titania was going to, and she still never told anyone her name. Titania is just going to like try to basically feel like try to feel the way Prospera described and let it pull her into the woods. That's where she's originally from. She might not be quite what she's used to be, but she'll be damned if some usurper is going to take over the woods from her.
You get a feeling the dark spot that you felt before almost acting like a barrier, preventing you from seeing what lies beyond what lies within that area, as if something that shouldn't be is now been shoved down here. Seems out of place, like much in the same way that the island prison Sir Thomas Tom seemed quite out of place.
Mm-hmm. I feel like when she's doing this, Titania just sort of like tilts her head back and like thinks for a minute and looks very strange, as stranger than she always looks, and tilts her head back forward. Well, I think I know where we're going. It's going to be, if you want to call it dangerous, I don't know what that word means to any of you. So if any of you wish to stay behind, I'd understand.
Alice looks at Prospera and goes, Your Grace, will you come with us?
I will. I trust this civilized woman who made such a pleasant introduction of you all, and any company that she chooses to keep is good enough for me.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
Okay. The 6 of you depart, and you take the path that Alice noticed, following the sense that Titania tapped into. And the path ahead is overwhelmed by scrub, by vines, by roots that climb out of the ground as if to snag your feet. You push forward until caught in the middle of the path, in the depths of this place, there is a cottage. The cottage is of curious design. It feels more than a little strange to the eye, certainly. The walls are composed of, it appears, sweets and gingerbread.
Oh no.
The roof is cracked and broken, composed of flat tiles of hard candy.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
Oh no.
And we give her Alice.
Black smoke floats upwards through the gaps in the roof. Indeed, now is probably the best time to show you what you see.
I think Titania is like turning up her nose at this, like, ugh, how garish.
I agree. This is the sort of thing that happens on this island. It's an absolute eyesore.
I
know
think I
this
would
story.
be more concerned about that smoke and that smell.
That's just
Ugh.
that's burning flesh.
Alice, while they're having this conversation, it's like, this is certainly the most interesting thing you've seen. This is certainly the most interesting thing on this island so far, at least since the tree. I would imagine, and I do apologize, Christine, you can continue this conversation in a moment. I would imagine
To be compelled.
if you, they're all talking about what they want to do, but if you limit your actions to things that nobody can find fault with, you will not do much.
Oh no.
I would, for a fate point, would you sneak away unnoticed by the rest of the group and take a little wander inside the house?
Inside the house. You know what? For a fate point, I would absolutely do that.
I am upping your fate points. And while the rest of the party have this conversation, Alice, you alone head into the house. We will come back to you in a moment. What are the rest of you doing? Christine, you were about to say something to the comment that it smells like burning flesh.
Well, first of all, I was a little concerned about how she knows that, but also, if someone's burning in there, but the house itself isn't on fire. Well, I think I know what this is.
Darling, I don't want to alarm you, but I measure my lifespan in centuries. I have smelled all sorts of things.
I don't want to. I knew this story as a child.
What story?
Where's
would that be?
Alice?
Alice, let's go back to you. Now seems like a good time for Alice to move. The door is unlocked, Alice, almost as if it wants you to go inside. And now's probably a good time to let you see what's inside.
Rip Alice. She was too beautiful for this world.
Oh God, the baby, no.
You enter this cottage. The scene inside is one of abject dread. Bones piled up in one corner, meat dangling from hooks attached to the ceiling, a bloody table, and a cauldron placed upon a fire pit, bubbling with a stinking meat stew.
Oh no.
In the cages to one side, you can see figures, not all humanoid, but all seem broken. One or two you can see have, for want of a better word, been fattened up. And in one corner, Alice, there is a layer of tattered blankets upon which you can see a single solitary figure. At this time, if possible, could we invite Jasmine Garcia to the stage?
We most certainly can.
Cameras. We can't see you.
What? Oh God. Okay, hang on.
Oh no.
Use video.
So no, we can't invite Jasmine Garcia to the
just
stage.
adds to the trauma here.
Spooky.
What you
Wait,
cannot see is
something.
more frightening.
Oh God. Why? Why is it not loading? I had a whole entrance plan. Damn it.
It knows.
Is your camera covered? Because that happens
No,
to
but
me.
it's no, it wasn't covered at all.
Oh.
It's not loading.
This is why we make sacrifices to the cone beforehand.
yeah.
Yeah,
Start
should
video.
be.
It's claiming my virtual background is still loading. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna try something.
That's perfectly fine. Alice,
Does this help?
Alice,
It
you're
does
looking
not.
around. Before you notice the figure in the back of the house, it's a curious scent, a mixture of sweets and blood.
Oh.
And-
Oh God. Okay,
Oh,
seriously,
boy.
why is my camera not working?
The floor is kind of sticky underneath you. It could be because the floor is made up of a hardened caramel or toffee, or it could be for a different reason entirely.
This is so many health code violations.
I think Alice is going to Is the person on the other side of the room, have they noticed me?
That's a good question. Let's find out. Alice, I'd like you to make a stealth check, and I would like Jasmine's character
Mhm.
to make a notice check, if you please.
Of course.
Terrible.
Oh dear.
Just
Yeah.
waltzed in.
Uh-oh. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Alice, would you like to invoke, if there's an aspect you can think of that you might be able to invoke here,
What is happening, though?
to
Why is-
re-roll, you can.
Okay, no.
I think that I could invoke thinking about pulling a stunt.
Okay.
What is happening?
Just turn off your virtual background if you have to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. It's the thing. It's not letting me.
It's funny. We can see your we can see a virtual background now.
Which is not the one we want.
Yeah.
I am
But,
so confused. I asked.
What do you mean this character isn't a sci-fi character?
Good lord,
That's okay.
this is so ridiculous. And I'm.
It's okay.
Note to self: sci-fi version of Hansel and Gretel.
But
This is
Alice,
ridiculous. What are you doing here? You're in the wrong story.
Alice, what would you like to do? You want to utilize a stunt? What do you have in mind?
My thought was some kind of, I know what I'll do. All right, I'm going to reach into Alice's imagination and reach for stories that she knows, that she's heard of, and think about some item that might be useful right now. And I'm going to try and pull out of my pocket a cap of Hades, which is Greek mythology. It would make me invisible. Only I want it to be this.
Okay.
So-
I will say. Go ahead.
The way that I put that stunt in, it would be a roll against my imagination.
Okay.
But that's happy to do however you want to do it.
Okay.
Mm.
So, would the figure in the let's go ahead then and call this a we will call this another sort of contested role. We're just checking to see if our guest star is going to be able to get on here. Apologies, technical difficulties. We are familiar with them in fantasy worlds elsewhere.
Oh God, yeah.
This is very
We
depressing.
are
that's
a
okay.
fly-by-night operation, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's okay, because the important thing is that she is here. We will go ahead, and I will go ahead and make a contested roll. It's against your imagination, yes?
Yep.
Okay. I will say, go ahead then, and you can make that imagination roll. We will say it's going to be against her fair notice result. Okay. So that's a great result. So at the last second, you pull this cloak of invisibility about you.
Not a cloak, a hat.
A hat of invisibility about you. Cloaking you with invisibility. You pull upon this hat, and she knows that someone is in the cottage with her, but she does not know where you are. In the meantime, we're going to go back outside, where everyone else is currently in conversation. And I believe Morgan had just asked Christine what story this was that she remembers from her childhood.
Because Morgan Le Fay would not be familiar with this story at all.
It was a story about two children who they became lost in the wood. And they ended up at the house just like this, and inside there was a witch who meant to cook and eat them.
Oh,
What kind of
Well,
story
that's
is
actually-
that?
that's actually clever.
German.
Would be
Well, they're
weird.
just humorless. It's a trap. What sort of person would be drawn to a house made of candy? A hungry child. Oh God, where is Alice? Oh God.
I think we already know.
Titania's just gonna go forward. It's like, all right, let's go deal with this.
Yeah,
I
well,
just had
Jean,
a-
who's still sort of spacing out with weighing his options, he sort of snaps to it and just like, yeah, where is Alice? And then like puts the 2 and 2 together, and it's like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Dad mode activated.
And
Yeah.
he tries for the door.
Okay. Yeah, Jasmine
wicked
is
idea.
yeah.
What do I do? What do I do?
Alice
Just had a
is nowhere to
wicked
be
idea.
seen. Alice, you are temporarily hidden away from this figure who knows that you're in the room. Jasmine, would you describe for Alice what she sees?
Well, this is the best we can do. What she sees is kind of is a woman who probably not who appears not much older than, say, her own mother, probably. And what would you? And she does bear a lot of the trappings of a typical maternal figure, but things seem just wrong about it. Most particularly, in spite of how polished she seems for the most part, very warm. There's a very warm aspect to her. Yet her hands are currently covered in blood, and there's a little blood sprayed on her face. And if she were to smile, if she were to smile when she finds her, which she will most certainly, it would come off more like a shark's smile.
Alice,
See, your
what do you
costume is
do?
so bad. Okay, so just had a wicked idea. Is the witch? Does it look like anything in this place feels like is she currently eating, or is she currently cooking, or what is she currently doing?
What are you
She-
currently doing? Yeah.
She has actually just finished her latest meal, and you'll find that because there is still blood on her hands, she's just kind of breathing it in because she is as spite of the fact that she has been able to recreate her usual abode, she is rather out of sorts in this new world. So, and she cannot make as many guarantees as she might in her own world. So she needs to take her time with her meals because it is because the longer she goes without food, the more ravenous she tends to become. Her meals are what
there-
keep her somewhat sane.
Are there any cups?
Cups.
Glass.
Oh yes, she
Glass?
does.
Mhm.
Glasses. Well, they're most likely are. You know, she has, in spite of how you all see it, she has a fully stocked kitchen ready for just about anything. So she definitely will have some glasses around. I'm sure one of them is still filled with some extra blood. In fact,
Oh,
This is
because that will often state, because sometimes that will have to do if prey is not easy to come by.
Alice is going to go to wherever that glass that still has blood
Mhm.
in it is, and
Mhm.
she's going to take out of her pocket the unknown bottle, a
Mm.
vial filled with an unknown serum,
oh boy.
dump it into the glass, and then giggle and run and hide.
Now, does she hear this? Is what I'm wondering.
You should hear the giggle coming from where your glass is.
Now, what am I hearing here? I know someone's here. And she kind of rises and starts kind of humming to herself.
As you move towards the table,
Mhm.
you can hear more guests are approaching to your home.
Oh, excellent. Perhaps I won't have to wait as long as I thought.
Can I use a stunt to impose the NPC?
You cannot. Well, let's see. What's the stunt that you have in mind?
You're nothing but a pack of cards, which is actually how Alice in Wonderland ends, the first book, where she
Ooh.
talks to all of the card guards and shouts them back into their proper form of a scattered deck of cards on the floor. What she'd like to do right now is make this bloodthirsty witch feel ever so bloodthirsty. Really, really thirsty, literally for blood right now. So parched.
Oh, God.
So you want to compel an aspect of the witch. Normally, when you compel someone, that character gains a fate point at the expense of a momentary setback.
Okay.
Perfectly, like, do I give her one of my fate
Well,
points to do that or something like that?
no. What happens is, so here's what's going to happen. Miss Witch, our sweet witch here. If you would like to have another fate point on top of the many I know that you already have,
Oh,
if you would like to have one more at the expense of a temporary setback right now, I can give you one. However, if you would rather avoid a setback, if it would not be in your interests to have one happen right now, you may spend a fate point to defy that compulsion. What would you like to do?
You know what? I'll take the fate point. I'm curious to see where this goes.
Okay.
She hates me for it, but oh well.
Okay.
I love my darlings.
You
This'll
look
have to do.
amazing.
Thank you.
Here we go. Perfect. Oh.
oh God.
Beautiful.
Oh, darling.
Beautiful in its horrificness.
Just covered in blood.
Just covered in blood.
Oh boy.
This'll have
As
to-
you
Oh, forgot one of my props.
so you feel a compulsion to sip this claret. Your hunger still not sated. Your hunger consumes you, really. So it's no surprise that you drink it.
Damn it, it's getting worse.
So I'm going to give you another fate point,
Yay.
and feel free to utilize them however you wish. And you drink this. Now, Alice.
I really hope it makes her small and not big.
Well, here's the question. Here's the question, Alice.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Here's the question. You know that there are two types of potion. There are those that make you big and those that make you small. And if you had a world of your own, everything would be nonsense. The most nonsensical thing to happen right now would be the most nonsensical and really painful thing to happen right now would be for this potion to actually be a potion that makes her larger and therefore more difficult to deal with. But so I can give you a fate point and she becomes larger, or if you want to defy the compulsion, you can spend a fate point to make sure, to guarantee that she becomes very small, just as your friends are about to break through the door.
Oh my god, I feel like a part of me is so tempted to just be like, Monsieur Valjean, I made a problem! But, no, I'm gonna go ahead and spend the fate point and
Go
make
ahead
sure
and mark a fate point. Perfect.
Yeah.
And you, dear witch, dear sweet witch, drinking this delicious concoction, this wine, it's the only thing that has a taste. The wine of grapes is no longer. It just tastes like ashes in your mouth now. But this, at least for a moment, sates you, and then suddenly you find yourself getting smaller and smaller. The world becomes larger and larger, and you shrink.
And then an invisible girl puts that empty goblet over you.
At this moment, Jean, you burst through the door in order to rescue Alice. The
Alice
rest
takes
of the
off
crew
the cap.
following you.
I'm here.
Alice?
Yes, I'm here. I'm safe.
Oh, dear. A
Alice.
sight.
Alice points at the witch in the glass.
Let's see. Okay.
I had a very bad
Valjean,
idea.
Valjean, as tender as a man trying to get the child to drop the snake. Alice, it would be grand if you could hand that to me, and
Oh, I dare not pick it up off the table, or she'll be free to move about again.
that is true. He thinks about it for a moment, trying to weigh his options. What weigh his options? It's just
What are you going to do to her?
weigh his options. Weigh his options and says, I think we found another talking tree outside. This one actually can.
Oh no,
reply
it's
back.
ever so much more interesting here. I'll check out that tree later. But
No, I
Alice,
must
darling.
leave this
Feel
terrible room.
Alice, give me the glass.
the glass is on the table, where it must remain upside down, or else the witch is free again.
I will deal with it. Go outside.
Is the shrinking permanent?
It never has been before.
Oh, mon
I
Dieu.
actually don't know how long it'll last.
This is why I need you to move, darling. I can deal with this.
Alice has already stepped back from the glass to allow you access.
Okay, then-
But
Then Titania's gonna go over and basically
she just doesn't want to leave the room.
Slide the glass so that the witch is in her hand. And
And Valjean is trying to like still within the
crunch.
room, but like try to like pull you away so you don't see them crush it.
Just crunch.
Oh my
God.
god. You're going to
Oh my
just
gosh.
crush. You're going to crush.
That is
Okay.
that is not what I expected.
That's a lot getting, I guess. I cannot watch this.
Okay. That is wow. Well,
Ah.
I feel like our witch deserves a little bit of an option here. So what
There's
I'm
got
gonna
to
do
be
is
something you can do with a fate point.
yeah. So what I'm gonna do is Sweet Witch and Titania. Titania, I am going to make this a contested roll. It sounds like you're using maybe either physique or I think physique makes the most sense here.
I mean, physique makes the most sense.
Yes.
I'm going to. I mean, if you're not going to let me do it magically, like use my will, then could I argue fight?
You could use fight if you want to. Like you're bringing down your fist on top of this glass, smashing it, and hopefully crushing the witch. I think
it's more like putting the witch in her hand and going smack.
Okay. Then I will say you can use. You could use fight, Sweet Witch. You're basically this is a physical conflict, so you are trying to defend yourself. So if you wish, you can also use physique or fight, or you can utilize your stunt to defend yourself.
I think I most certainly will.
All right. So the Sweet Witch is going to use Burned by Your Misfortune, which is her stunt, which allows her to use her provoke to defend herself against physical conflicts. She tries to put you off balance, basically. All right. Okay, so that's a fair result from Titania. So I will ask the Sweet Witch to make a provoke roll to try to beat that, to defend yourself. Oh, okay.
Okay. I can't. I was going to see if I could use a hands are quicker for the fray.
That was
to reroll that, but that's not worth it.
roll.
Yeah.
That's not worth it. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that was a superb roll there from the witch. So, is there anything in particular you say to this giant woman who's about to try to crush you?
What does she think would really? Let's see. Does she have any sense of what would really upset Titania? Do you think?
I can see your roots are showing. I don't.
I have roots in this form. I'm not a tree now.
rude.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Why don't you pick up some on your own size, you little hag, you old hag?
I like that. Because of so you successfully defended from the roll. Titania, it what she said does kind of put you off for a moment. So you are not successful in defeating this in crushing this little tiny creature.
That is hilarious.
She is able to slip out of your hand, and you are now on the floor, Sweet Witch.
Alright.
I will allow you now to take an action if there is something that you would like to do at this time.
I mean, there's not a whole lot one can do with that at this size, is there? Like,
You are basically like, you know how we always say you can do anything in D&D? That's a lie, but you can do anything in Fate. So If you let me know what you would like to do, and we will make it work.
All right. Well, well, she's not going to win in physique in this state. Perhaps she can win them over. You know how we talked about if we could use "Might I show you my sweets" as a metaphor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you want to try to make a mental attack against Titania, you can do so. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So, if you wish, you can use provoke or rapport, perhaps, if you'd like to use either of those against Titania to try to throw her off, to try to prevent her from continuing to do what you wanted to do.
You know what? I think. Well, it's Titania. I'm pissed off, so yeah, I will try provoke again. I think.
Okay, go ahead and make a provoke check. And if you like, you've got like 6 fate points if you want to spend any to bump that up to a 7.
Ooh, why not?
All right, we'll mark off one of your. Go ahead and mark off one of your fate points. So she is trying to provoke you, Titania. You can defend against this in using a skill if you wish. Do you have a? How do you think you might sort of like try to recenter yourself?
I think that since Titania is surrounded by the woods, she might want to use empathy. Like, this is where I am. This is, this thing is messing up my forest. I'm gonna get rid of her.
Okay. I will say that you can use empathy to defend yourself against this, like as to kind of give yourself an idea of like what's going on in this woman's head. Okay.
I'll spend a fate point to make that equal.
Okay. So you kind of circle around the room. The witch kind of like giving these little comments, trying to provoke you, trying to keep you on edge. However, you're able to understand that what she's doing is really just, she's lashing out at you, but you get a sense it may be because she is feeling as lost as everyone else. If that would be true of the Sweet Witch.
Oh, very much. So, well, I mean, first she's already not that doing so hot in general, and now she's hiding, which is bringing her right back to when she was a child and helpless against her mother when she realized what kind of person she really was.
I will say, Jean, you are also in the room right now. You were leading Alice out. Is there anything you would like to do to attack or create an advantage for the others on this turn?
Let's see how I can spin this. This cage, is it like attached to anything?
It is not. No, it is freestanding.
Okay. Valjean will take kind of like a sidestep, and since the witch is still small, he will like grab it and like sort of like try to like throw the cage over the witch.
Okay. I'll call that a physique check. I would argue it's not essentially you're not essentially attacking her so much as trying to create an advantage. So that's what you're going to do here now. I will allow the witch to try to defend against that. If both of you would like to make a roll, if you know what if you know what you'd like to do to defend against that, Sweet Witch.
Okay.
As this cage comes sailing through the air towards you.
Okay, so that might end up having to be a physique, unfortunately.
Okay.
I mean.
All right.
I mean, I don't know how provoke would really help with that, you know?
Yeah. So you can go ahead and make a physique check as well if you wish. You need to beat. Yeah, you need to beat that tree. Mm-hmm.
Good luck. I might need to use a fate point. Yeah, I'm gonna need to use a fate point.
Okay. So you're going to use a fate point to bump it up to 4. Jean, if
Oh,
you,
-2.
yeah, if you,
3.
okay, Jean, if you wish, you can use a fate point as well to invoke one of your aspects, if you wish, to bump that up to 5 and still win.
Yeah, I will. In
If
fact, just for the flavor of it, I guess the
I was just thinking that. So you are spending a fate point to create an advantage here, using your physique, giving you the +3 bonus rather than simply +2. That means that you've won. You created that advantage by 2 shifts.
Mhm.
So you've created an advantage somewhat with style.
Mhm.
Meaning that the next person, next team member who takes an action here, they get a free invocation of the aspect you just created. Basically, you have just caged the witch. So the witch is now ensnared in a cage, and that is an aspect that our next character can that basically any character who wants to can invoke for free.
What are the people outside list hearing?
Yeah, outside, the 3 of you outside can hear us. Morgan and Prosper, you're having this kind of conversation off to one side.
Yeah, talking, magic schools and
Yeah.
like, oh, you use the staff, I prefer a wand,
Yeah. Both of you hear this noise outside. How did the 2 of you react?
Good Lord, what is happening in there? No, I think
She's screaming at this point.
I'm not sure. That's the thing, is like Morgan can hear things going on, but at the same time is like, this is all very strange and I don't know how involved I want to get. Like, prisons and castles is one thing, but house made out of pastries, smell of something possibly you know what, I'm good.
I have. Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna ask Christine something.
Prospera. I will ask.
Prospero, go.
Yeah, I'll ask before we move. Prospera. This seems to be the center of the issue that's been causing you this misfortune, preventing you from getting to the last bastion of your magical power. You can hear the sounds of screaming and things being thrown about inside. Is there anything that you would like to do at this moment?
There is unfortunately very little that I can do at this moment, both because of my previous limitation and the fact that Prospera is just so distracted by what a filthy house this is to be hosting on her island. This is so much worse than she could possibly have.
Outside the cottage being like, well, obviously whatever's going on in there
Well,
is nothing to do with us.
And this is the real nail in the coffin, is that I have just absolutely latched on to Morgan as the single civilized human I have spoken to since my daughter was 2 years old.
Noble's gonna noble, what can I say?
And,
Wow.
and so I just trust that if she puts this trust in her friends, that I can believe that they will have this handled.
If they need us, they'll let us know. Trust me.
Absolutely, and of course, at that point, of course.
Meanwhile, in the background, just for the love of God!
Danny is going to shout out the door. Christine, how did they deal with the witch in that story?
shoved her into an oven by tricking her into thinking it was not hot enough?
I beg you, what are you talking about?
There's a fire underneath the cauldron, right, Connor?
There is, yes, there is.
As long as she's trapped, and Titania is going to look at Jean Valjean with like basically the Titania's equivalent of the voice from Dune, just like get her out. And I would like to use my magic to make the fire start to consume the cottage.
Okay. We
I'm
will
gonna go ahead and leave the cottage.
gonna mosey on out of here.
Fireman Carrie.
I'm so excited that that worked so well, but also I'm really sorry, Jasmine. I just absolutely housed this.
This was my long-term plan to deal with this problem anyway, so let's just get to it.
I will allow you, if you wish. I'll give you two choices here. You can make a will check, and the quality of the will check will determine just like how inflamed the house becomes. Or if you're willing to spend a fate point, I will allow you to invoke your high concept as Queen of the Fae to cause a conflagration that quickly spreads throughout the home. So it's your call.
The smart choice, to be clear, is just to roll it, and then if I need to, bump it up with fate. But that's not the cool choice.
No.
So I'm going to invoke Ilmet by Moonlight.
Because you could roll 4 minuses and end up like with a really lame roll. But so you tap into your power. Here it is incredibly difficult to reach into. It's as if the dark magic of this cursed woman has leached into the soil beneath you. However, you dig deeper and deeper until you reach the very depths of the earth, where the roots meet the rock. And from there, you pull up fire and flame and energy. The cauldron bubbles and steams and then begins to crack as the heat underneath it becomes overwhelming. And the floor around it starts to melt. You can feel the drips of hot molten candy like beginning to drip down onto the floor around you. And the witch is still trapped in this cage.
And at this point, I think Titania and Jean Valjean, frankly, should probably just leave.
Okay.
Valjean, knowing what his trouble is, he knows that he's going to cause this woman to die.
Yeah.
And so, overburdened by the terrible guilt, he is going to make sure that happens. But because he's not, he's like, I will carry this with me, that I caused this woman to suffer like this.
Look around you.
Or Jean, I can give you a fate point, and you can knock the cage over and give her a fighting chance.
Wait, hold on. One additional question.
Yes.
Occurs to me, out of just curiosity, when I saw those cages with the things, some of which were not humanoid,
were
some of them humanoid?
Yeah. Oh yeah, some of them were humanoid.
Were they alive?
Oh my god!
Yeah, some of them are still alive.
Wait, so did you throw the cage with the
Wait.
people in there?
Monsieur Valjean! Monsieur Valjean, save those people! If you must save someone, please.
This person is still...
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, as this building is burning down, Valjean is, while making sure they're not escaping, making sure that basically getting the people out, just kind of suffering whatever burns or other things are happening to him. trying to like get everyone out, and only after it's just him and the
Oh.
witch.
Titania's going to stand at the entrance and watch to make sure it finishes, like, and to make sure the fire doesn't spread to the rest of the forest.
Yeah.
Alice is
Sorry,
gonna
Jasmine.
just sort of breathe through her, like step away from the smoke and just be like, feel like that turned into a rather small problem.
Jean.
Wow.
Oh.
Titania throws Alice into the fire.
Does Alice put on sunglasses and somebody screams out in the woods?
Jean. As I was saying, Jean.
Don't have sunglasses.
You are at times tempted to indulge, to allow evil to be done to evil, but are you going to leave this woman to die inflamed? At best, she will.
Well,
at best,
here's the
smoke
thing I'm
will-
thinking of, because the worst person that Valjean lets go is Thénardier, who he does at least assume is a murderer.
Yeah.
He knows he runs with brigands. He knows he runs with other people. He's never there's never a point in the book of all the things that happen in that novel. He never interacts with a cannibal.
Yeah.
I'm not, there's some, is there a crime so far that's truly unforgivable? But he will get to the door, look back at the witch, and you know what? Yeah, he would actually. He
kick the cage over.
He will kick the cage over.
Okay.
And say, "It's up to God now."
Okay. Give your.
I love you, Jean.
Give yourself a fate point, Jean. As the witch is free now, the house is burning and melting down around you. So this is perhaps the last action that the sweet witch will have available to her. Are you going to run? Are you going to attack? Are you going to try to slip away? Or are you going to stay where you are?
What her uninvited guests didn't know, there was a time where she did try to put an end to things, back when this curse first hit her, back before it really took away most of her humanity. To be honest, she doesn't even know if this will work. But frankly, she just, while pondering why on earth that man even tried to help her, so she just sits there and she stands watching the house burn, praying that it might actually work this time. And as she does, she tries to remember the last somewhat happy moment of her life before she was inflicted by this. My mother, she murdered me, and then my father ate me. And then my sister Anne Marie gathered up my broken bones and swaddled me in silken cloth to lay under the juniper. A pretty bird am I.
Outside,
The kids,
you all
like,
watch.
Small children don't actually traumatize too easily. Like, this is wow.
Outside, you all watch as this house crumbles in on top of itself. You watch the panes of sweet glass melt, and the gingerbread walls crack and break and crumble and turn to dust, and nothing comes out.
Lord, holy and compassionate, forgive her sins. By dying, you have unlocked the gates of life for those who believe in you. Do not let your sister be parted from you, but by your glorious power give her light, joy and peace in heaven where you live and reign forever and ever.
That
We don't
is
see her in heaven.
Amen.
the path is open now. Go ahead.
Just to be clear, when Titania saw him kick over the cage, she is fuming.
The path ahead
remember.
is clear though.
I remember my library. Shall I take you there?
Yes, I think we laid good
Please.
siege there. I think we did a great job laying siege, and thank you to all of you who went in there and, you know, did what had to be done. Library, right?
My God.
Oh my gosh.
You head away from the wreckage, and the woods themselves seem to open up for you. That black spot doesn't seem to be infecting the place as it once was, although no illness disappears overnight. It will take time to heal from that wound. And Prospera, you are able to once again remember, yes, the library, the tower, the repository of your greatest and most valuable information. And here, this will be the final spell
It
to
will.
reveal.
My friends, now that I have recalled my magic, I can call upon certain spirits to reveal what they can about this person you seek, this thief of stories, as you call him. This will be my final magic. And as I have promised, I would like us to go down to the beach so that I might, upon performing this final act, fulfill the promise that I made to these spirits, which I command, and drown my book.
So mote it be.
And so, picking up my book, I lead them out to the place where I landed on arrival of this island.
You lead the procession back down towards the shore, Prospera. And with book in hand, please cast this final spell that will guide these strangers onto their next destination.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes, and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back, you demi-puppets that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the yew not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault said roaring war, to the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt, The strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oped and led 'em forth by my so potent art. I require some heavenly music to work mine end upon the senses that this airy charm is for.
You shut the book and place it into the sea now. You won't need it anymore. And your magic coalesces around you and out of you and into the book beyond. And the book floats into the sea, where again spirals form, and you can all see leading down into the heart of the whirlpool beyond a long forgotten cave. An ancient cavern into which each of you may venture to move onwards through the darkness. On the cave walls within that cavern, you will see images carved into the stone, others drawn or traced. The images depict great monsters, hunters, stories of creation, stories of gods. And as you keep walking, you will walk into a time before stories were written. That will be our next act, where we come to the end of Act 3, the island. I would like to thank our guests for this part of the adventure. First, I would like to thank Laura Crone as Prospera. Please give a bow and
Thank you.
mix applause to Laura.
Thank you so much.
And secondly, I would like to give many thanks to Jasmine Garcia as the witch, the sweet witch. Thank you very much. Both of you were remarkable,
It's
and
insane.
that is why I GM.
We try.
We're gonna take another short break. Drink. Oh, we're gonna take another short break here now, and then when we come back, we will enter the next act of this play. Thank you so much for sticking with us. My ability to time is off, but we are heading onwards now. You're all so wonderful, and everyone watching is so fantastic. We are going to take a very, very short break, and then we will be right back. Thank you.